All right, joined with a special artist today, ALKI. He's going to get
Yo.
started by sharing a little bit about how he first got started making music.
Yeah, dude. I guess I first started music in third grade. I started I guess fourth grade. Started playing instruments. I started playing the clarinet. Kind of did it because, they asked if you wanted to, and I was like, yeah, sure. So I ended up playing the clarinet throughout elementary school. Middle school came, still played the clarinet. Eventually, I got to like eighth grade and I started expanding from the clarinet. I started liking, like drums. We got into like our eighth grade band and we had like a full drum set and stuff. And that was like a time where music was really influential for me too. I have five older siblings. The youngest being the youngest of the oldest being 10 years. So like they're all, millennials and a generation right before me. So I got so much music from my brother's hand-me-down iPod back in the day. And I remember just like a world of like, whoa, there's more music than like what's on the radio, like Hot 99.5. And it piqued my interest. I got into drums. Like I fell in love with punk music originally. There's something about the drums almost like singing, having like its own part to the song I just fell in love with. So I started playing the drums. Simultaneously kept the instruments up. Didn't really start thinking about making like music myself until about I think it was like my junior year in high school. Honestly, I don't, there's no exact point that started it. I just remember I always loved, I could remember the lyrics to any song. Like there were so many songs, know all the lyrics to them. I would rap along. People would always be like, man, you have a good voice. You should make music. Like you sound like this. I remember, especially being from this area, Logic was a huge, huge, huge influence. He was like the godfather of the DMV. He grew up 20 minutes away. So having that was like a huge, like, okay, like people from this area can do this. And then, you know, being a half white person, him being a white, like we have that similar flow when you get into rap. And I would love, right? I'd know all his lyrics and people would be like, bro, you sound like Logic. You should try a song out. So I remember like the first time trying a song, putting it together, and I just released it on like SoundCloud. And I was just like, I told like my friend group, your little group chat in high school, and I'm like, yeah, I made a song, and it kind of just got like sent around, I guess. And next thing I know, it was just like a lot of kids in my high school, like, yo, that was pretty sick. Like that was cool. Yeah, are you gonna release more? And I was like, I guess, right? So it kind of just like kickstarted this like love for one expressing myself and then people reacting early on. So it took a while, honestly, from that point. Like that was like 2017, 2016 is when I graduated high school. So like, I dropped a couple other like rap songs. I started getting into rap. I was very, very influenced by like 90s rap. Like my brother being 10 years older, I listened to so much old Eminem, old Nas, Big L, Tupac, everyone back in the day. So I had that like favoritism in that genre, and it kind of stuck by me. But it was really in like 2020 during COVID time when it kind of took its own route, where I really had like time to do nothing but sit in my room and just practice. And thankfully, like there was a bunch of new artists that really helped me kickstart going from rapping into like this singy, songy rap at first. That was like Ian Dior, and like I remember Kid Leroy when he first came out is when I kind of realized like, oh, I can, you know, like sing these songs. Like, why can't I should be able to do that myself. And then COVID had hit that time, so I had nothing to do but sit in my house and literally just kind of like learn how to do it all. Because it's one thing to be able to sing a song after you get to know the lyrics and blah blah blah, but when you sit down and it's like a fresh beat, obviously there's like a whole different side that goes into it, and you don't, I guess, understand that at first. So I was just really sitting in my room making music, and then finally I dropped um this song Damaged, and that was like what really kind of first started picking up my streams and was really like, okay, I can do this. This is like this is something I can do. And it kind of just, snowballed after that. I went on this streak of 30 plus songs, and that's where I'm at right now, basically, from that.
That's awesome. So you kind of took it step by step, but then ended up collaborating with some artists pretty
Yeah.
early on.
Hmm.
Some notably that I saw just from like looking through your catalog a little bit was Selesky. I think that's pretty
Yeah.
cool. You worked with him. How did that collaboration come to be?
Yeah. So, Selesky, we're kind of from like the same area. He's from like the Towson, Baltimore area, um, like 45 minutes from where I'm at. We had some mutual friends back in the day, and he ended up as like I needed for in a music video, I needed like a bunch of people for like a scene. And the guy that I was doing the song with, the music video with, was friends with him at the time. So he invited him over. And like he was just, just a funny dude, like genuine guy. Like when there's a bunch of people at like a music video shoot, you, there's always like someone that you like kind of vibe with, or you just kind of, you're funny, sense that vibe, and that was definitely him. He was just hilarious. And then it was like actually a few months after that, I'm like, holy shit, that's the pizza guy. Like that's the I didn't it didn't click in my brain. I'm like, what the fuck, bro? At that point we were like on like pretty cool terms. Like, like we would just like text each other here and there. Um and then I think I don't remember. I think his song came first. I did like a he sent me an open, and I did that, and then I think I had attached open, and I don't know, I just he's I think he's very underrated. I think he's like the dude is obviously a comedian. I know he loves doing that, but in his like his musical talent is, I think, very underseen. Like he can sing, he can rap, he's very versatile. So when I sent attached, I don't even know what I was really expecting. I was just like, I like working with people that I genuinely like. And I mean, it sounds cliche, but it's literally not about a follower count. If I like your music, we'll make music. If you're a genuine person, we'll make music. And that's how I just viewed Selesky. Like he was always real with me. He always had more followers. And like coming from the DMV, that's sadly like a pretty big thing. It's a, followers number count. Like if you know certain people, if you have the followers, you can be at certain places, or it's easier. And that kind of, he had the TikTok follow, he had all that. That never mattered to him. And I just found that genuine. So I sent him attached. And I loved what he'd sent back. We posted that. And it's funny because now attached has been doing the best it's ever done in the last 8 months. Like it's almost at 300,000 streams. And 180,000 of those have came from the last, I think, year, 6 months. It's been awesome. So yeah,
Wow.
it's just crazy. It's a small world. A lot of people from the DMV.
Yeah, no, it's funny because I've had friends that have no idea that he does music. That'll just send me like his
Yeah,
Instagram reels or whatever, and it's just like to be that funny. And then I've seen some of his stand-up stuff too, and I'm like,
yeah,
usually there's like a difference there. Like usually you have people that can do the real stuff, and not to say you can't do
absolutely.
both, but like to be that
Absolutely.
versatile
Yeah,
and do
it's a whole
both.
different, yeah, exactly. It's like it's a whole different art. It's like a freestyle. And dude, even if you love it, like I love performing, there are good nerves that come inevitably. Like you care about something, you want to put on a good performance. So there's so much that goes into it, but you only get to see a little clip on Instagram, and it's like the highlight of it, obviously. But yeah, man, props to him for killing it. He's been really doing that shit. I text him all the time too. I'm like, bro, your shit just popped up again. Like, keep killing it, dude. He's the man.
Yeah. So what is your music creation process look like? I know a lot of artists will have different approaches to how they start making a song or how they come up with the idea for what they're making. What's yours look like?
Yeah, so mine, I mean, for the most, it'll be the same, and then it'll kind of change up, but for the most part, it's the same. I love to make music wherever I'm comfortable. For right now, that's in my room. A lot of the songs that I've made have been just straight from my house. There's a couple that I've been in studios for, but I don't know. There's something about if I'm not comfortable, it's very hard for me to make music. I'm definitely not a freestyler by any means. Like I can, but I like to sit down and I like to write music. Um, and I basically kind of just start by as what I'm kind of limited, so I go to YouTube Beats. Kind of try to find whatever I can vibe with. And then it's kind of just like a step-by-step process. Like I'll download it, I'll have my DAW open simultaneously, and I'll just kind of go through a bunch of beats on YouTube while I have my mic open. And I'll just flip through beats, dude, hundreds of beats a day. And I'll find one that sticks. And then it's kind of just like it's a writing game from there. I think the first line is the most important most of the time, depending on the song. But most of the time, that first line is like it's gonna determine obviously the first flow. It's gonna determine the mood. It's gonna determine the vibe. It's there's a whole science that goes into it. So I really focus on that first line. It's like a hook, like try to engage someone. Um, but I'm always very open. My music is very, I tell people it's a diary of my life. I don't really conceal anything. Now, there's certain songs that I guess can be fantasy and that'll be known, but majority of these songs are just real life experiences that I've been through. Um, so the goal is to really like feel it essentially. There's countless of times where I'll go through a beat, I'll get the first line down and the second line down, and then it's not enough. Like I don't feel it. I'll stop that, and then it's on to the next one. So a lot of my thought process is if it doesn't come out how it's supposed to, then it's not the time, right? So if it doesn't, I'll make a lot of these songs that I've posted. If I could show the timestamps under 2-3 hours, completely done, mixed, mastered. Um, I think it's all about a feeling and a vibe, and that's a pro and a con. Like, if it doesn't get completed that day, it's very hard for me to come back because I can come back and my brain can be working and the flows can be working, but I can sound different. It's just not the same experience that it was when I was recording that because the songs are very real. They come from a very real place. Um, so it's a very big mental game. Like I have to really lock in. I have to put my time aside for it. Um, but when I do, I try to create these songs and just kind of let it be known how I feel, basically.
Was that something that was difficult when you first started making music, just to be more like honest and open about stuff?
Um, it's funny enough. I don't think that was the difficult part. The difficult part was my whole life. I did not feel comfortable ever telling people things, but I just don't think I was like that was I was growing up around that. So I didn't express my feelings with a lot of people, with close friends, with my family. That just wasn't a thing, and I didn't think about it. I didn't know it was a thing, right? So, but with music, it always just naturally kind of came out, and I did realize that. So I kind of did use that as almost like a leeway for a lot of the writing. Like, um, yeah, like I guess I don't know if my brain felt more comfortable because there was a beat around it. And I guess a lot of people don't always listen to music for the lyrics. Like a lot of people listen to music for the beat or listen for the melodies and flows, and they don't really listen into the lyrics. So a cool part of that is like you can release it, you can feel free, and some people can listen to it, and those will turn into fans. And some people might just like it and come back to it, and they don't really realize, but they're still fans, right? They're still, so there's like so many aspects to it. I guess I felt free in that way. So that was kind of like my crutch for a long time in my life. Um, I would write music in horrible relationships, releasing them in real time, but not like none of my friends knew. So all these songs to them at first seemed like fake or fantasy when it was, real, all real feelings in real time. I had just never expressed it to them. So yeah, that was definitely a big moment um in the music making.
Was there a specific song that was harder to write than the rest?
There's definitely, I mean, so I have hundreds of unreleased songs. I definitely there's definitely a few that stick out on that end that have a definitely a special time and place when they'll be dropping. Out of the ones that have been out, I mean, honestly, I think all of them have their own special place. Like that's how they were created, Otherwise, they haven't made it out at all. Like I have a note, two notes that are almost maxed out. It has to be over 400 songs. A lot of them haven't obviously made it to Spotify. So I guess the ones that I've released have a special place in me, have a special place in my heart. And lately I've been trying to get out of the bubble of labeling my own music before it's released. I think that's been a very big thing on my back. I've kind of forgot that I have to let the people decide what the music means to them. I'm just the one creating it. And I think a lot of artists get lost in that, especially as the music starts doing well. Like when you don't have as many monthly listeners, and not by any means, I don't have any crazy numbers, but when you have hundreds, it doesn't feel as crazy as when you have 20,000, 10,000, 40,000. You have people DMing you, and like there's like a wait for it, right? And you're fighting. There's a lot of time where you're fighting yourself, and you're like, oh, this song has to drop because I think this is a special one. And a lot of the time that's just hurting yourself because you end up not dropping it. You end up, oh, no, this one, I should do this one, or blah blah blah, back and forth. So I've been honestly trying to let that aspect go. I think everything I create in general means something special to me. If it made it to a complete song, it's special because there's hundreds of thousands, I should say, maybe one verse, one hook, and then open. But yeah, yeah,
Was was there any songs that, well, not if, but I guess what's one song that you wrote and had really high expectations for and thought it was going to be like pretty big and changing and didn't really receive that same attention from the listeners? And on the other end of that, what's a song you put out that maybe you didn't have great
yeah,
expectations for and it did well?
yeah. There's, bro. I could say any one of those 35 songs, that 37 songs I have out, I dropped, and I was like, all right. Maybe after the fifth, the seventh one, those 30 songs, I was like, this could be the one, right? I think every artist thinks that, but truthfully, it was more recently. I kind of went on like a little hiatus. I was trying to gather myself, trying to really focus in on what the importance of making this music was to me and realizing how I wanted to roll it out. So I took like this little hiatus, and then I came back with no service. And I mean, you know, as an artist, you're always expecting a certain outcome, even though you're telling yourself not to, right? It's impossible not. Music is a numbers game. Everything is a numbers game. We're looking at stats all day. We're looking at numbers, which sucks. So when you release something and numbers are low, I mean, it's hard for an artist. You have to be mentally strong to look at something that you just spent thousands of dollars on, especially if you're independent, and one weekend it has 1,000 streams and you have 49,000 monthly listeners. So like there's so many things that go into it that can beat you down about that. No Service was a big one. Like it was a very, very meaningful song. Um, is very, I was at a very mentally vulnerable state. I think, my fans that knew that checked my Instagram. So I just wasn't, you could tell, like things weren't as good as they could have been. And when I came back with No Service, it was just a very, very intimate song. And you expect, something like that. You hope something like that does well, and it didn't do well. It's still probably one of my lowest stream songs. But you kind of have to just take the good with the bad and the bad with the good and kind of just realize that it's just another song to the catalog. One day, people can come back to that. It's there forever. It'll be there forever. And it's on to the next. On the positive end, I've had like songs, I think Planes. Planes has been a really good one. That was a song I kind of just dropped because I thought it was okay. I thought it was a good song to drop. Didn't think anything of it. It got pretty good streams initially. Like it got to 70,000 plus streams like pretty quickly. It was doing very well, and then it kind of died down. And then recently, in the last 5, 6 months, it's been doing amazing again. So that's definitely been a song. Too Much as well has also been a song where it came out of nowhere. It did really well at first. Surprised me. I don't even know how it would just start doing really, really well on, I guess, Discover Weekly. And then it stopped. And then when it restarted, it was like double that. So those are songs I kind of just put out thinking nothing of it. Like, you know, these are cool songs. I didn't think they were anything special, honestly. And turns out they're my now 2 and 3 song. So yeah, definitely those two.
That's pretty. It's pretty good to have that mindset, like going into it too. That it is like an investment, and it could always jump up down the road. You never know when the song's
Exactly.
gonna pick up again.
I literally
What?
always tell people it's an investment. It's like a stock, putting a song out.
Yeah. What kind of went into like creating that mindset? Because obviously that's not like an initial. Obviously, initially it's very frustrating. What kind of helped
Yeah.
you like turn that corner of having that perspective?
Yeah, dude. I think having a really positive like support base is the most important thing. I have a really, really supportive girlfriend. I have a really supportive crew that helps me with videos and um meetings and stuff. Like I have a really supportive family. This all goes really into it. Um and I'm not gonna lie, dude. I do therapy on a weekly basis, man. I think everyone should do therapy. Just being able to talk to somebody that's in that field and knowledgeable, and just by talking, I mean, your perspective on things can change. Like hearing it, I guess, from a third person perspective that has no prior meaning to you, I guess, really does wonders. I don't know what it is, but therapy really helped, man. I was really in my head as a teen, always thinking that people don't like me or this and that. And I mean, some of it I'm sure is true to an extent, and some of it is then played on in your head even more and more and exaggerated. But having someone to talk to and being able to listen to someone that has good advice is crucial. Like it's so important to have support, and I think therapy, if that's available to you, that's done wonders. It really just lets you open your eyes and see the it's a long it's a long game. You're in it for the long run. You're not posting to blow up. That's you're posting to let your feelings out. And I think also the reward of slowly building a follower base, helps, because it shows you that people are obviously listening and they like something. So there's a whole bunch of things that go into it with support. has to be one of the most important things that you receive.
And would you say that like the piece of going to therapy has made you more selective with the things that you talk about, or in a way has it made you feel more comfortable talking about them in a different perspective?
It's definitely made me more comfortable. Like I was not a vocal person at first. I was very to myself. And I got nervous expressing myself. I didn't know, I feel like I didn't know how to speak well. There was just like a bunch of things that went into it. But therapy kind of just like opens your mind, and I feel like helps you learn how to deal with those, social cues. Like I don't think I would have ever done something like this, an interview or something where stakes can be high for anxiety prior to that, because there's just so many things going in your head. It's so overwhelming. So it's definitely helped. Yeah, yeah. I would literally. I was like in a bubble prior, so definitely helped.
Does that kind of go into things like performing then as well? Like, is that something that
Yeah,
you really have?
absolutely. I don't think I did any performances prior to therapy. So I started seeing a therapist in 2019. See her every Friday, every week since. Um, I was doing music in 2016, 17, 18. So there were no like shows. I did do a few small ones in like 2019, a couple like back to back in DC, and then like COVID obviously hit and stuff. But it definitely like if I've had a couple shows not recently, in the last year, 2 years, and I would say performing is kind of like one of my favorite things to do. I think I am a performer more than damn near anything. I enjoy seeing people happy. That's the number one thing I want to see, regardless of music, regardless of anything. I want to see people happy, especially if I'm hosting them. So performing now has been like nothing but a joy. I love shows. I love being in small, intimate locations with 100 people packed, like, and seeing everyone's face. I love talking to everyone after the show. It's been so awesome, and that definitely had a big impact on that. Um, Obviously, I think everyone has nerves going into shows, but they're definitely more of like better nerves. They're like, okay, I got this. The jitters are there, but you get them out, and once you see the crowd, they're obviously there for a reason. Yeah, I think artists overthink so much, and it's the downfall of so many. Like they're there for a reason. They want to see you. They bought tickets. They're a fan. So yeah, you just got to go out and deliver, and it's definitely helped me be me rather than being so locked up and reserved.
Yeah, you kind of talked about, someone paying to go see you and being a fan. What's some ways that you've focused in on kind of growing like your fan base or your community of people that
Yeah,
listen to you?
absolutely. I've I think the most important thing is not losing touch with the fan base as you grow as an artist. Um, I mean, it's easier said than done, but it's really realizing, if I think there's a lot of genuine people and there's a lot of disingenuine people, and I honestly think if you're genuine, like it goes a long way as an artist. I know there's plenty of artists that I know that see those messages all the time. They respond. I mean, it's obviously to an extent, if you have thousands of followers, it's hard. But I mean, the easiest way I think is listening to what what your audience is saying. Fans is like such a weird, I mean, obviously they're fans, but it's such a weird way. I just kind of look at them as the people that give you this opportunity. If there is no them, there is no you. They stream it. I give them what they want. So the biggest thing is listening, obviously, to what they want, and kind of just engaging, staying true to them, giving people your authentic self all the time, not switching up because you receive deals or money. Like, I think that goes a long way. I think a lot of people can easily take a paycheck and just switch up their views on things, but I think just being a genuine, authentic artist is the easiest and best way to give back to your community because they get to really know who they're supporting. It sucks when you're supporting someone for so long and then 5 years later they do some crazy heinous act and you can't right. It's always, it sucks. They're hiding behind this like facade. So very common too. So you just gotta be real.
No, that is like, I mean, obviously there's different levels with everyone's life and everything, but I just think like, I wonder how many like artists from before that we maybe wouldn't support in the way we do if they were more like starting out in like the internet age where it's at now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like, and to an extent, I mean, what can you do about it? There's a lot of things you can do. I mean, it is what it is, but I think the most important too is recognizing that. And if you can recognize that, that's the first step. There's a lot of people that are still just blind to the fact. Um, and that's where the problem lies because it'll obviously just never, nothing will ever change. But I digress.
And now it makes you wonder if Kanye came up in the internet age, if he would have gotten canceled before he ever got to like make some classic records, like we would have never gotten a
Literally.
graduation.
It would have never, yeah, exactly. Would have never even had a name. It would have been canceled day one.
Yeah, we would have never gotten to hear anything. It would have never happened. So what's one way you found that's effective to kind of share who you are as a person with your fans versus just only giving them music, I guess.
Yeah, man. I think I'm very vocal on my story. I'm very opinionated. I love keeping it real. I love talking. I don't know if that's a normal thing. I get a lot of, I love talking on my story. I get a lot of interaction with people on my story. I don't post as often. I mean, I post on my gram, but the stories is, I mean, is the interaction. I talk with hundreds of people a day. I think that's also like one of the best ways to give back. Sorry, it was loud ambulance. Yeah, man, talking back with people every day, just like posting, talking, letting people know what's going on in my life. I try not to hide anything. I try not to post on loose ends and not fulfill promises. Like I just try to, show people what I do on a daily basis. I'm really like vocal on my story and I show people how I make music and like the day in the life. I've been starting to put together kind of some like in the background footage of what goes into making a lot of these songs to start releasing some content for a lot of the music coming out and just really showing people like the vibes. Music is in such a weird spot right now, like industry wise and just like sound wise. Like a lot of there's not really a new sound, right? Like, I mean, you could say there's some like newer thing, but there's not really a new sound right now. Even these 2000 type beats are like coming back and like making their way back in. So music is like in a free for all right now, which has freaking been awesome. So I genuinely think it's not about how it's been the last 50 years. The standard has been flipped. I mean, to an extent, sounds sound different. We're doing the craziest things that people hate. We're putting reverbs on, we're putting crazy compressors on masters. We're doing the dumbest shit, limiters on masters, right? And it sounds good. And these songs have millions, hundreds of millions of streams. We're doing that's like the new thing right now, doing some crazy shit that sounds dumb. So as long as you're providing something genuine, I think it can be seen right now. And there's so many people aching for good quality original music. And I think there's a way to mix a lot of the sounds that have been recycled and produce original music still. It's been done, but it's not about the perfect 4K video. We need to get this. We need to get all these perfect cameras, and it's like you can shoot. I just shot a dope video. I posted on my Instagram. People are like, "What the heck?" Posted it. I shot it on my iPhone. We shot it pulled over. My car was overheating. The Corvette. If anyone sees that video, it's on my. It's a teaser for the song dropping. We were driving home from the metro. My car overheated a mile away from my house, so I pulled over. There's these awesome, awesome buildings. I'm like, it's 12 o'clock at night. I'm like, no one's out here. Let's use this while we can. We just set up, shoot a bunch of videos, car cools down, we drive home. Like it's really about the vibes and the creation and the energy all put into it. It's not about a specific sound. So it's just been awesome. It's been a good time to be a musician.
No, I think something that's really cool about On the Radar. I don't know if you've ever. I mean, that's like kind of right over by you, so yeah, I'm sure you.
Yeah,
But like, you get to see so many different artists, like what they're doing. Like Georgiana, that's why I saw her in 1900 Rugrat. All those people just like very different, very unique sound. Not
absolutely.
necessarily my taste, but like they've like been able to reach like a lot of different people without doing something that was traditionally considered the right way to do something.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's all, yeah, it's like about I think a lot of people forget too. There is a persona that goes into it. Like in this day and age, you cannot just sell music. Like the musician will not just win. You might get some stick deals and write for some people, but if you can't sell yourself as an entertainment, as a persona as well, to a degree, people aren't going to want to buy into it. So it's like we're at the uh, we're at the peak of like you have to find out how to create a persona, how to sell yourself to people without being fake, but staying true to yourself, right? It's tricky and it's cool. It's wild times, but it's the beauty of it.
Yeah. You mentioned pulling over to shoot this video for your new single. When does the new single come out and what's it called? And tell us a little bit about what you have coming out.
Absolutely. So right now I'm deciding 100% on the title. But it'll probably be called Lackin'. It's dropping October 17th. Should be a Friday. Um, like I said, I have so many songs. So this one was one of the more recent ones that I made. I guess it has a special place in my heart because I've been on kind of like this writer's block for the last I was on this writer's block for the last like 2-ish months, 3 months. It comes to a point where you feel like you have so many songs. So when you get stuck making a song, it's really easy for you to just be like, fuck it, I quit. Like I have 150 songs that need to be released. Let me focus on that. What am I doing? Rather than when I only had 20 songs in that notes, I'd be like, I need to finish this shit, right? So Lackin' was definitely one of those ones that me and my roommate does a lot of writing with me. He's a key component in this music making. His name is Kiki. We look at each other when we're in the studio and we have this thing called the it's a, oh my God, I'm blanking on the name right now. It's a accidental banger is what we call it. So it's literally when we just find a beat and the song gets written in 30 minutes. Like it gets, the basic vocals get laid down. It's just like one of those songs that vibes, it flows. The lyrics just kept coming. It's obviously one of the more fun songs I have. Serious, everything is real, but not really on it's more on the flexing side, the heartbroken, but not whining about it, right? It's a lot of people ask me when I sent it to like my friends before, they're like, yo, this is sick. Did you like tweak your vocal? Did you pitch your vocals up or anything? I'm like, no, that was just me. It was just me. So it's been cool because I've gotten a lot of reactions like that. So I'm happy. It's like almost like another sound that I can make. I feel like I'm very versatile. And I haven't released a song like this yet out of the 30 plus. So I'm excited. I've got a bunch of videos in the works right now for it, content. I've got a few others coming after that, but for sure, I'll leave those unnamed because I know that October 17th we'll have the probably lacking is what we'll call it.
You mentioned you have videos that you're already starting to work on from like a content perspective. What's kind of your approach when you're gonna drop a single now, as far as like creating content for it,
Yeah,
making sure it's good to go, all that stuff?
you gotta set time aside for it. Obviously, like I have a part-time, full-time. I have a job. So you have to like it's a scheduling thing, right? Like the money make the music makes money, but not enough. So how are we gonna figure this out, right? You need to have a job, you need to be able to supply it, the music career. So I really just have certain days, and it's not like Tuesdays and Fridays, but it's on like a week by week basis, right? I'll go throughout the week, and then when I get to Sunday, I'll think about, okay, my schedule for work is blah blah blah. I have off Tuesday, Friday, Sunday this week. Like I'm making sure that these days at this time, I'm getting stuff done. So it's really just a time of thinking about it. Now, sometimes it can happen where like you get lucky and you make the best out of the situation where we pulled over. But a lot of the times, you try to plan it out. Like I like to shoot a lot of things at night. I think the daytime is like very hard. You're squinting, like it's just not, night is kind of like usually the vibe. So really just gotta treat it like a job in the sense where you got to get stuff done, but it's very rewarding. It's not, you shouldn't be a job where it's stressing you out, but you have to take it serious. You have to set time aside. Um, because if not, I've done it where it's kind of like on the fly, and let's be realistic, it's not good. It's way easier to sit down, say, okay, on Friday, I want to go to 7-Eleven at night with the gas station. They have the lights, they have this. I'm going to bring this car. I'm going to have a couple friends. Well, you just plan everything out. And that's really been the key.
What kind of switched your mindset where you realized you needed to start scheduling things out? Because I think a lot of people do try to do it
Yeah.
on the fly, and that does get overwhelming.
Yeah, exactly. So I love that you brought that up. There's a lot of of things that go into music making that are a front. Um, I think it's a younger kid mentality. It's almost like I'm not saying this, but it's almost like when you're young and you believe in Santa, like you want to believe in Santa, right? When you are an impressionable teen or even in your early 20s and you're in this field, you don't see what goes into the background. And like someone like me, where I've been doing this since 2016, but the numbers didn't start coming. Like I didn't start getting into these studio sessions till a couple years ago, a year ago. I always thought like this. I'm gonna be this is like the studio sessions are like this, and like you don't think about, I guess, all this stuff that goes into the background because that artist is doing a great job of posting the highlights essentially. And I mean, once you can realize that as an artist and you're okay with that, I think that's the biggest hump that you got to get over. Now there's a chance that you hit it big leagues and you get some insane deal and you're the next Kid Leroy, but like realistically, to start independently, to get your foot in the door, to even have that opportunity presented to you one day, you got to plan shit out. You can't, time is money. And when you get paid for your time is when you can really start fucking around and really thinking about like doing shit on the fly. And you have a whole team and hundreds of people and thousands of dollars of equipment. Like, yeah, shit's going to be a movie, but you're an independent artist, and doing it on the fly is it always sounds good in your head, but it's hard. I guarantee you, if you sit down and you plan it out, like literally write it on a piece of paper. I have a journal. I write shit on all the time. if you write it out, it's just so much easier to align your goals, especially if you're someone with ADHD or any neurodivergency. Like writing stuff down is so helpful, really helps you see the plan out, and then you can plan for it. You can text a few people, they show up the next day, and everything is golden, right? All you have to worry about is you taking the shots rather than, okay, we got to go do this today. We got to get these people today. We got to get this. I got what outfit should I wear? Is it going to be raining tonight? Like there's so much shit that goes on the fly. You'll just burn yourself out in that regard.
No, I think that's a really good point. And I think when you don't have like a checks and balance system, you also, if you're just always doing it on the fly, you don't necessarily have a moment of like, okay, I did what I was supposed to today, because you don't
Yeah,
really have like a set up time of like, I need to be productive here. You have, I need to do everything I can. So there's no, I
exactly.
did good today,
Hmm.
at the same time.
Exactly. There's like a big misled part that, or I guess unspoken part about anything really in life, and especially if your career like this is like goal oriented. Writing out goals is a big thing, but like taking little steps and accomplishing those little steps really do cause a snowball effect of like good behavioral tasks. Like it is really easy to get caught up in not posting music, not posting stuff, and then you get in a habit of going ghost and not posting, and you feel like no one cares. And it's also on the other end of the spectrum, really easy to get into into a habit of posting monthly and posting on your story weekly and letting people know what's going on and doing stuff. And as you do it and these little tasks are completed, you receive dopamine in your brain. You're literally checking something off. You said you're going to do this, even if it's I'm going to post my song by Friday, then you do it on Friday. I guarantee when you do that, this minute you click submit, you have this weight shifted off your shoulder. You have this rewarding feeling in your head. You're like, yo, I got a song dropping Friday. That's literally dopamine being released. You just did good. Now you're going to want to do something else. And as long as that thing isn't some crazy leap, you'll get it done, especially with that kickstart that you just got. These little things snowball into, okay, I've been dropping songs monthly now, 8 months now. You'll see that it's gonna grow. This stuff's gonna grow. If you're dropping quality music, if you're dropping content, quality content, it's gonna grow. You just need to be consistent and you need to not aim for the stars immediately. We get caught up in shooting for the stars. Oh, shoot for the stars. What if you fall? There's nothing that, what if you fall? You shoot for the stars and you miss and then you fall flat on your face and it hurts. You got to shoot for the step above, okay? And then after that step, you reach for that step. And then eventually you're going to make it to the stars, but if you shoot for the stars and miss, you're nah, that's not that's such a it's so cliche. You can't shoot for the stars. You're going to fall on your face. You got to take baby steps. Make your way up to the stars.
Oh, I like that perspective. I think that is important because it does feel like, it almost feels more like gambling when you get into like shooting for the stars and feeling like, oh,
Yep.
I'm putting everything
Exactly.
in one
You're going to
song.
put all your money into this, like I'm going to spend $4,000 and promoting this, and then it boom, 10,000 streams first week, and then what did that, now you got to do all that money into the next, now you just saved up all your money, like it's not the way.
To do it. So what else? You mentioned a single coming out. What are some other? It seems like you have a really good perspective on as far as the content creation side of things. But what are some things I guess you're currently working on as like progressing yourself as an artist?
Yeah, I'm really trying to just, I think my biggest letback was the me labeling my music before I dropped it, like I touched on earlier. One of my really good friends, Colton, he's an artist, he's an amazing artist, and I it's rare to have a friend so close that knows exactly what you feel like, art, especially as an artist. I feel like artists are crazy. We have a crazy to us. We're all different, and only we can really understand how we feel, right? We're the dumbasses that are doing this, that are risking our lives for creating art in our career, right? But he was telling me how important it is to just release the art. Like, it's not you. You created the art. You are not the decider of what the art is. And he was telling me, like, I don't want to say exact names, but it's a famous painter, one of like the crazy, like Van Gogh, one of those insane artists. When he died, he had like hundreds of paintings locked up, basically, that were all essentially, he did that so when they found him, they would all be released at the same time, not one by one. So there was no favorite, because like when I think people do associate, when you start dropping like, oh, this is my art, you just put all your time into it, all your, this is the favorite one that you're releasing, and it handicaps you as the artist. So he had all those 300 paintings go, and they all go into the museum at the same time, right? You value them all as the same rather than one at a time. I think that has been one of my biggest letdowns. I'm trying to really just get out of that and realize that how can I be the judge of how someone perceives a song that I dropped from 2 years ago, that I made from 2 years ago, that I made from 4 years ago, that I made from 1 year ago? Like, they don't know. They just listen to the music they enjoy, and the streams show you which ones they enjoy, right? So getting out of that headspace recently has been a big a big help. I mean, I know after the song on the 17th, it's gonna be on a roll. I just don't, I'm seeing which ones are getting mixed. That's why I don't want to say exact names, but I finally kind of just realized like these are just all coming out. They're gonna be out regardless of what I think about them. And I'm gonna kind of see how that goes and where that takes me. Yeah.
No, that's awesome. Well, I appreciate you taking time out of your Sunday. It was great to have you to chat and
Appreciate you, brother.
hear a little
Thank you
bit
so
more
much.
about what you've been doing. And yeah,
Thank you, man.
appreciate it.
Absolutely, bro. Thank you. I will I look forward to seeing this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate you a lot, man. Keep doing what you're doing. Original as hell.
Yeah. It's something different.